So, have you ever looked at your diet and thought, I'm eating healthy, so why am I so tired? I hear this all the time. People are eating their salads, they're drinking their green smoothies, they're taking all these supplements, which some people are taking tons of supplements, and they're trying to do all the things. Been there, done that, but they're still tired. If that's you, I want you to know that you're not alone. I have been there as well. And so I want to discuss some of the reasons that healthy people still struggle with fatigue and why the answer is a little more complicated than just eating healthy. So we'll talk a little bit about my story. One of the biggest surprises in my own health journey was discovering that I could be eating healthy or what I thought was healthy, and that feeling healthy and eating healthy are not the same thing. When I found out that I had Graves' disease, I was exercising every morning before the kids got up, before I went to teach. I was teaching regularly every day. I had my master's in health science 10 years prior, so 10 years of continuing education classes in nutrition in sports and so much in nutrition and exercise, whatever, right? And I was taking care of myself, doing all the things that I had learned when I had worked on my master's. But my body was telling a different story. So that taught me something very important, that fatigue is a symptom. Fatigue doesn't mean that you are eating or not eating healthy foods. There's so many other things that are involved in fatigue, and it's information. We shouldn't push through it, which is something that I did for years. So I pushed through the fatigue before my diagnosis. Goodness, I have no idea for how many years, probably maybe 5 or 6 years. And then after my diagnosis, for at least another 10 years, I kept pushing through 10 to 15 years because I was actually doing CrossFit 5 years ago where I really wore my body out. So pushing through is not really the answer. When you have fatigue, we need to go back and say, wait, what's behind this? Why is this happening? We need to understand what the body's telling us. So, healthy food does not guarantee that we're getting all the nutrition that we need. One of the biggest mistakes I see are people are eating these foods that are considered healthy. I was myself, I thought that I was eating the healthiest foods, but maybe it's not right for you. So, maybe breakfast is a smoothie, lunch is a salad, and dinner is vegetables. So, these are all really healthy foods. They can be very healthy, but where is the protein? Where is the fiber? And are there enough calories to create this energy for this energy production cycle? So if breakfast is a smoothie, if it's a fruit smoothie, there's probably not a lot of fiber. There is a lot of fiber, probably not a lot of protein in that breakfast smoothie, unless you're concentrating on foods that you know are higher in protein. For me, I add beans, I had hemp seeds. Some people add protein powder. I prefer whole foods. Some people add other things that are higher in protein, which is great, but we need to look at that. Our ratio of protein needs to be pretty high in the morning. Does it 30 is the max? Don't go over 30. Your body can't handle more than 30 and it will convert it to carbohydrates. But what is in there that is higher in protein? Because fruits are not high in protein, they're very low in protein. They have some, but very low. Lunch maybe is a salad. What is on that salad? If it's lettuce, cucumber, tomato, and a salad dressing, where is the protein? Yes, there's protein in lettuce, but you have to eat a tremendous amount of lettuce to meet your protein needs. Maybe you can put some beans or nuts and seeds on top or some other healthy protein, as well as other vegetables that are higher in fiber and color to give us those phytonutrients and other minerals and vitamins that our body needs to create energy. And then if our dinner is vegetables, what vegetables are there? And are we including other things to help make sure that we're getting, once again, lots of color and healthy proteins? And that can be plant-based proteins. For me, my choice is still always legumes. You could put seeds on top of that or make a dressing out of seeds or beans, and then that can help you meet those needs too. And so we want to make sure there's plenty of fiber. Most Americans are very deficient in fiber. We want to make sure that there is healthy plant-based protein at each meal. And we want to make sure that it's nice and balanced as well and colorful so we get those phytonutrients and meet our caloric needs. Most of the people my age, 10 years older, younger, have been taught for years that they need to eat less. And they have been either intentionally or unintentionally under fueling for years. Some people, they're just have been on a diet and every single diet around the world, year after year after year, and they haven't allowed their body to recover from that constant dieting. Some people are unintentionally underfueling. What do I mean by that? They've been eating so many processed foods that are lacking in nutrition, or they're eating these healthy smoothie, salad, veggie meals that they didn't realize are not providing all the nutrients that their bodies need. And so there is a lack of sufficient nutrition. And so we have to look at that. So first, we want to make sure you're eating enough and good quality foods. Blood sugar swings, that's number two, could be another thing that lead to fatigue. Most of us, 93% of Americans, have some metabolic condition going on in their body. That could be heart related, that could be pancreas related, that could be um, a missing liver related. And so we need to pay attention to what is going on in the body that way. But we need to look at that. If I'm eating a croissant or a Danish or a muffin or dried packaged cereal or a fruit juice for breakfast or a combination of those, then I most likely am having some blood sugar issues right away, right off the bat in the morning. All of those are very low in protein. And they also are very highly to spike blood sugar, leading to the need to have another food 2 hours later when that blood sugar comes down and crashes because insulin shot up. So our body is constantly trying to maintain that balance, and it may make you hungry and tired so that you get that food to help boost your energy again 2 hours later. So are you crashing? Do you crash regularly every day? Is it 10 a.m. you have to have a snack, or 3 p.m. you have to have a snack? That is a sign. Do I need caffeine? Do I need to have my cup of coffee after lunch or 3 o'clock? Is that a habit, or do I need it because I can't function without it? Am I always looking for something sweet? That's another sign that we need to look at blood sugar. Number three is stress. And so I talk about this every time. So stress can be related to food, but not necessarily. One of the most overlooked things related to fatigue is the stress. We think of stress as something that's emotional, but the body sees it as something biological. The body doesn't distinguish between work stress, caregiver stress, financial stress, family stress, illness. If you have illness and inflammation in the body, guess what? That's stress. If we're eating foods that we're sensitive to or allergic to, probably sensitive to, if you're allergic, you know you're allergic, sensitive to, that's creating stress. If you're not sleeping, creating more stress. If you're over exercising, that's also creating stress. And so to the body, stress is stress is stress is stress. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. And all of that requires different resources. Did you know your adrenals burn more vitamin C than any other organ or gland in your body? And so if you're constantly stressed, you need more vitamin C. Where do we get vitamin C? Raw fruits and vegetables. Are you eating those every day? We also need more magnesium and zinc and things like that. I'm not telling you to take them, but we need to recognize that when we're under a lot of stress, we need to make sure we're replenishing those resources that we're burning through even more so than we would if we weren't highly stressed. And then the next one is sleep. So sleep quality matters so much. We don't think about sleep. It sounds obvious, but I think most people underestimate how poor sleep is affecting them. When we don't sleep well, we crave carbs the next day. So not only are we tired, we're more likely to grab those high carb foods. And then if we start the day with a fruit smoothie when we didn't sleep well, guess what? We're going to definitely want another snack around 10 o'clock. And so we want to make sure that we're getting good quality sleep. Sleep is when our repair happens. Sleep is when your brain is cleaned up for better brain function. You have so many people have brain fog. Sleep is when our body cleans the house and repairs everything that we've done throughout the day. If you were lifting those heavy weights on purpose to build muscle, well, when you lift weights, you get tiny micro tears in the muscles. Well, when we sleep, we repair those to help grow the muscle. But if you're not sleeping, you're not repairing. And so your time in the gym, do you want to work really hard for nothing? No, you want to get that good quality sleep so that that can repair. So sleep is key. And our body may be asking for us to dig in deeper to see what's going on. So fatigue is really the body waving that white flag. Hey, pay attention to me. It could be thyroid dysfunction. It could be a thyroid conversion issue, which happens in the liver, but it's also related to minerals. Are you getting the minerals needed for that thyroid conversion to help with that activation to help you moving. Do you have an iron deficiency? Don't go taking iron pills until your iron and ferritin have been checked and evaluated by a doctor. Do not. Make sure they've been evaluated. But if there is an iron deficiency or insufficiency, then maybe that's what's going on. Maybe it's B12. Maybe B12 and folate are masking each other because you're not eating a lot of dark leafy greens. Maybe you have inflammation going on in the body. Maybe you have a chronic infection. Maybe you have an autoimmune condition. Did you know all of those lead to fatigue? And it could be your medications. So many meds out there, their side effects are number one is fatigue on pretty much across the board. And so look at your meds, have these other things evaluated to rule them out so they can find the source of the fatigue. Stop stamping it with sugar and caffeine and pushing through. Get to the root, find out what's really going on in the body. When someone tells me they're tired, I don't immediately say, let's look at your supplements. I start with A, I need your food journal. What are you eating? Are you eating enough? How's your blood sugar? How well are you sleeping? Are you drinking your water? Drink. How many bowel movements are you having a day? And what does your day actually look like? What's your stress level? So many people tell me that their stress is a 5 out of a 10, but then when I start asking them about their day, we unravel a lot of stress that they aren't even thinking about as being high stress. So, one of the most important lessons I've learned is that health is not simply about eating the healthy foods. We have to look at the environment. We have to look at what the body is doing on a daily basis to function well and what we are providing to help it function well. Are we eating those nutrient dense foods, highly colorful foods, foods that you can see in the produce department, your local farmer's market? What is sleep like? Are you getting movement throughout the day? We have systems in the body that don't have pumps. We have to move the body to get those muscle contractions to move lymph, to move the garbage out through your body. We have to move it out, right? And we need to focus on stress management. How do you start your day? Do you start your day setting it up for a easeful day? And then how's your digestion? How are your relationships? Do you have a community? Do you get out in the world? Are you able to touch and feel other people? And if you have been dealing with a chronic condition, what is your recovery like and how are you setting yourself up for healthy recovery? If you're eating healthy and still feeling tired, don't assume that you're failing or you need to change your diet anymore. Get curious, dig in, start asking questions and seeing where is the root of this fatigue. I'd love to hear from you. When do you feel most tired? Do you feel tired in the morning or the afternoon or the evening? My Aura ring tells me that I'm going to bed and waking up exactly when I should. And so luckily for me, I am a very energetic person. I don't really notice any sluggishness. I will admit in the morning after I get up, I'm drinking my green tea. I sit on the couch. Sometimes I don't want to get off the couch. But do you have times like that for you? Please like and share this video with someone that you know or love that needs to hear this information. Subscribe to my channel, and I will spend more time with you next week.